So my name is OnyxRose. Briefly, this is a podcast called OnyxRose Through the Looking Glass with my co-host Aggie Solid. Say hi, Aggie.
Hi.
You can talk. You know? Are you looking at your phone or my phone?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up that picture again.
Okay. Okay. Hey,
Go
what's
ahead.
up? The trajectory. Hey, Kimmy Wynn, thanks for coming back. I appreciate it. Yeah, we finally made it through these technical difficulties. Hey, Joe, thanks for coming back. As I said, this is Through the Looking Glass, Onyx Rose, the podcast with Aggie Salad. Today's subject is going to be neurodivergence, and specifically neurodivergence as it relates to both myself and Aggie Salad. Yay, we get to talk about ourselves. Awesome. Hi, the trajectory.
Mm.
So, neurodivergent, neurodivergence is huge. It's kind of the catchphrase nowadays. And rightfully so. There are a lot of disorders and issues, neurological differences, things like that, that fall under this neurodivergent umbrella.
Mhm.
So the umbrella includes things, and I'm looking at the umbrella here on my other screen. So it includes things like autism spectrum disorder, uh, attention deficit disorder, and a odd HD. Is that how you say odd HD? Dyslexia, dyspraxia, Tourette syndrome, and other tic syndromes, disorders. I mean, obsessive compulsive disorder, because we do know somebody who is obsessive compulsive. Sensory processing disorders, mental health conditions such as anxiety, bipolar disorder, depression, PTSD, dissociative identity disorders, personality disorders, borderline personality disorder. Egg, where'd you go? Egg, egg. Okay, so we lost Egg. So I am just going to talk until I can find Eggy again. Eggy, egg. Okay, well, sorry for yelling, y'all. She will come back on when she does. I'm going to put y'all on pause really quick. I will be right back. Hey,
Oops. My phone is so weird. It won't like it just randomly it's in my house doesn't feel hot.
God.
My dude, I don't know. Like it wasn't letting me use my phone all of a sudden. It just said you're not unstable and all of a sudden it said my phone. Hey.
Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay, go back. Shut the doors. Okay, y'all, we're back. So, considering that we are not in our regular location, this is why we are having difficulties. So, Egg's camera is off, but she's coming back, I think. Um, Eggy, your camera's off. Can you hear me? She's having problems with her camera. Um, us not being in the same place that we used to be is having problems. But I'm going to go ahead and talk. So, neurodivergent disorders, um, as it applies to me, uh, I have bipolar disorder and I have attention deficit disorder. I suspect highly, it has not been confirmed that I'm on the autism spectrum or odd HD. Um, the combination of both of them. Um, so let's see, diagnosis for I was diagnosed with ADD when I was younger, and then that switched into ADHD the older I got, um, and and since then, I've taken all the drugs from non-stimulants to stimulants, Ritalin, Concerta, Strattera. Um, None of them worked. as well as uh, phenamine, or whatever that is. I've taken that. It's not helping me either. Um, so dextro and phenamine or Adderall. And Adderall is what I take. I take a lot of Adderall and it helps. Um, you can't see or hear anything. Oh, no. Oh, Aggie. Okay. Aggie, I'm sorry. Yeah, like your phone is just messed up. I don't know what to tell you. I can try and invite you really quick. Let me see. I don't know how to do this. Um, it is frustrating. Yeah. So ADHD, people think it's like ooh, a squirrel. Oh, let me go get a deer. Oh, let me get an ice cream. And to a certain extent, it is like that. You know, there is the hyperactivity. There is the inattention, but there's also other things. I just learned recently of something that's called what is it called? Hold on, let me pop into it. That's odd. Um, ADHD, let's see, ADHD, ADHD rejection. Okay, yeah. So it's actually called ADHD rejection sensitive dysphoria. And that is an intense, sudden, and often overwhelming emotional pain triggered by the perception of being rejected, criticized, or failing to meet expectations, commonly associated with ADHD. So, this is something that I experience more than I thought. I didn't have a name for it, so I wasn't able to name it. Um, I Yeah, so when I started seeing all these videos on YouTube, all these not on YouTube, on Facebook, all these reels, that put the name rejection sensitive dysphoria out there, I realized that, this was something that affected me tremendously. I will go into tailspins at a moment's notice, like, whenever I perceive or feel like someone is putting me down, telling me I'm doing bad work, telling me, I have low self-esteem or anything like that, then I get down when I perceive something in someone's attitude or their eyes, the way they look at me, the body language towards me, um, y- you know, um, yeah, it is helpful, isn't it, Kimmy? Yeah, so it is an intense part of ADHD. It is like so there a lot of these symptoms kind of mimic other not diseases, disorders, um, such other things. So I'm going to read some of the symptoms. Intense emotional pain. It's called an emotional tsunami or an immediate extreme emotional distress, often described as physical stabbing pain. So that's what I mean by the emotional becomes physical. And I say that a lot. Because all of this emotional pain has nowhere to go. So it's going to affect your body. It comes out through your body and, um, as a result, causes that physical pain. Sudden mood shifts. Now, of course, everybody thinks bipolar disorder and sudden mood shifts, like one moment you're happy and one moment you're sad and crying. And that is true to a certain extent. That happens to me. I could be laughing hysterically and then crying the next minute. Hi, Eggy Salad. Welcome back. um, but this is associated with ADHD. It's rapid changes from feeling fine to intense sadness, anxiety, or rage following a period of criticism, or failure. And I have both. I have years of failure and years of criticism, to back it all up. Yeah. Um, yes, I do, Aggie. If you can join, please. Let me see. Uh, Get down. Hold on, Aggie. I'm coming through. Okay, yes, Aggie, come through. Come on, Aggie. Okay, so while I'm waiting on Aggie Saw to come back, let's go on to the next one. Internalized or externalized rage. The pain can be directed inward, and then that's depression, low self esteem. And of course, I have, I suffer, I have depression, and to a certain extent, I have low self esteem. Um, or I used to have a lot more lower self esteem. Now it's more like a screw it, fuck it, but uh, it comes out as low self esteem too. So, um, or outward. And when it's expressed outward, it's anger or hostility. And of course, so all of these sound like functions of bipolar disorder, or at least my bipolar disorder. Um, so let's see who's joined the room. Come through, Aggie. Oh, I can't invite you. I don't know how to invite people. Let me see. Add guests. Okay, hold on. Let me just do this real quick. Get Aggie Salad back in this mix. Okay, Aggie, you were invited. Please come through. Okay. Hey, let me catch up on people coming in. Hi, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. Hey, Aggie Salad.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Oh my goodness. What's been going on?
The fluffy bunnies. My phone just shut down. Like I don't
Yep.
know, but I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah, you're
I'm here
going in and out.
to get it while getting's good.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go. Right now, I'm talking about rejection, sensitive dysphoria, which is based in ADHD. Um, and a lot of it is like it sounds like it's got a mix of autism spectrum disorder, ADHD, bipolar disorder, depression, anxiety, all of it mixed together to make this RSD. But it's
Yeah.
specifically for ADHD. You're frozen
Mhm.
again, egg. Okay. So, perfectionism and people pleasing. That is another one. So the people pleasing is a strong fear of failure, and or disapproval, which often leads to extreme efforts to please others and avoid taking risks. So that is something that I understand well too. Well, I have often been told that, I've often been told, why aren't you living up to your promise, things like this. And it leads to low self-esteem. Of course. I am not a perfectionist though, but I am a people pleaser. Um, yes. Misinterpretation of cues. Often perceiving neutral or even positive feedback as rejection. So it does happen to me as well. I do like, sometimes I get the wrong answer from people, in terms of reading them, where I will assign like something negative where it is actually neutral. But, I do think it is. So, Aggie, talking about rejection sensitive dysphoria, do you have anything to say about that? Is that something that you recognize in me, or is that something you recognize in yourself, or anything like that?
Both. Hopefully I'm not frozen anymore.
You're
But
not. Go ahead.
um I think both. I definitely see it in you. I know I experience it a lot within myself too.
Right.
You had mentioned a other comment about people saying that or asking why aren't you living up to a certain potential. And I I when I hear those words, I have to remind myself that when people are saying those kinds of things, it's really them projecting own concept of what potential they think a person should have or they think you should have. On
Right.
mean that's what you should be. Nobody needs to be this idealized version of themselves 24/7, 5. Um, it's just doing your best from minute to minute, day to day, all of that.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
but as far as the euphoria, uh, I I experience it with um, my own perception of reading how people are communicating with me as negative, instead of reading it actually is, which is usually probably neutral or even positive.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I I have a I have a tendency to warp those things into a negative framework. Um, and then, like you said, that has a lot to do with self-esteem, self-worth. Um, I think for a lot of people who are or experience some facet of neurodivergence, it's often a thing. Um,
Right. Right.
in way, shape, or form, it may look a little different, um, and it might feel a little different. But I think a lot of people experience it under that umbrella for sure.
Right. Okay. So let's jump into you right now, and then because I don't want your phone
Ooh.
to overheat without talking to you. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you are a late in life diagnosed person.
Yes.
Um, what are you diagnosed with? What spectrum are you on? Let me put it to you like that. Egg?
I Uh-oh, did I freeze again?
Come on. Yes. Keep on. Talk, talk, talk. Keep on.
So so I hold on. No rushing me. You know how I am.
I know,
The
but you're freezing. I'm trying to get it out before your phone shuts.
I am autistic. I was diagnosed late last year. I went
Okay.
through a process through Prosper Health, where you did a self-evaluation. You had someone who is currently close to you and knows you well do an assessment on you. And then ideally you have a parent do another assessment on you as well regarding your childhood. Unfortunately, I did not have that. All my parents have passed, and my brothers are all much younger than me. So there's 8 years between me and each of my brothers. So there's a 16-year spread. So they don't really recall me at a very young age, because they were too young.
Right.
So I had OnyxRose do an assessment for me since she's known me the longest, uh, adult, and then I did the assessment for myself. I did have my younger brother do an assessment based on his experience and perception of me, with him. Uh, and basically, I went through with the or was it more? No, I don't remember. I believe, and the why are you shaking your head?
Because you were going in and out like horrible.
Oh, no.
Mm. Go on, baby. I'm sorry.
Yippee.
Yeah. It's one of those days, you know
So
what I'm saying?
off and switch between my Wi-Fi and 5G, it helps, but I don't know if it's gonna work now.
Okay, try and hit 5G. Why wouldn't you be on 5G?
Yeah, I'm on 5G now, is that a little better?
Yeah, we'll try it. Yeah, let's try it.
We'll try it for a minute,
Okay.
until it decides again. Anyway, so, I went through 2 sessions, where the psychiatrist or psychologist, I can't remember, sat and asked me a lot of questions about, my childhood, what my friendships were like, what school like for me growing up, what memories I had growing up and interacting with others, and these I may have had at a young age. And then we went into teen years and then adulthood, what my experiences look like now. Um, and basically, as far as the diagnostic area for diagnoses, I'm trying to pull up the little picture again. There's basically four different categories that have to be met in order to be diagnosed. That under current DSM-5 TR diagnostic criteria. The first category is social communication difference, and there's three subcategories of that, and you have to have at least some element of all three in that category. The first is social emotional reciprocity. The second is reading and using nonverbal communication. And then the third is understanding, developing, and maintaining social relationships. So you have to have some element of neurodivergence along all of the subcategories to satisfy category A of the social communication difference. And then category B is patterns of behavior, interests, or activities. And there's four separate categories in section B, and you have to have two of those represented out of four in order for that category to be met. So those subcategories are repetitive behaviors or speech, the need for routines and sameness, and then interests. And the fourth is sensory. Um, so you have to have two of those. For me, sensory is a big one. I have a lot of sensory sensitivities. And then the as far as interests, I don't have an intense interest in one specific thing, but I do have a tendency to hop from one thing to the next very rapidly. And then there's repetitive movements has been noticed. I sway a lot when I have to wait in line. Or I'll pick my fingers or, little ticky things like that.
So
Um,
here's the thing. I did the Prosper test too. And by the way, y'all, in the comments, do not have an autistic person do your test. um
yeah.
because and here's the thing, as the DSM stands right now, I'm probably not labeled on the spectrum, but I guarantee you
Mhm.
when the next DSM comes out and they do more studies on black people and its association with trans people, that
Right.
I will be on that spectrum, and it will probably be AUDHD or
Yeah.
odd
Yeah.
HD. So when you got this diagnosis, um, that you expected, like, so what made you seek out diagnosis, first of all?
Um, main, mainly my partner, OnyxRose.
Yes, indeed.
Funny because over the years, I didn't notice a huge difference. Wow, that sun is right in my face. Um, the but as far as the years went on, Onyx Rose would point out like some behaviors or patterns of things that they noticed in me um, over the years, and I started seeing more like posts on Facebook or posts on Instagram about autism spectrum, and I would watch these videos, and I would see a lot of those behaviors, and I really started to question, like, maybe maybe I am a bit spicy brain. I guess maybe I am. And so with Onyx versus encouragement, I decided to go through with the process of diagnoses. And I am extremely glad I did. Thank you, Onyx Rose.
You're welcome. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I like I the final nail in the coffin, or the nail in the coffin,
Mhm.
was the last meltdown you had. I don't know if you remember it, but it was
I do.
because yeah, it was because the door was locked. Do you remember that? Or I was asleep or something like that, and you thought something had happened. Do you
Well,
remember that?
to me, the most recent one was the balloons. But anyway,
No, well, okay, yeah, that was no, the I'm not talking about that one, though. The one before you got diagnosed, was the one where I think you were knocking on the door for, like, 5 to 10 minutes, and the latch was covered, and, like, when I opened the door, you, like, just fell down and melted and started crying and hyperventilating, and I was like, "Damn, girl," but, I understood why. So,
yeah, um,
uh
it that was a lot of fear because it was Valentine's Day, and
oh.
I had I had I had texted so oh, wow. Over a year ago. I had texted OnyxRose in the morning because I was, staying over at Mishmish's house, and which is, familiar. And I had texted in the morning saying happy Valentine's Day. I didn't hear anything back. And I was like, "Oh, maybe they're not up yet." And I was like, which is weird 'cause, they're usually up in the morning. And I was like, "Well, I'll give it a little while and I'll try again." So I waited about an hour, texted again, tried calling, didn't hear anything. I'm like, "Hmm, that's really weird." Um, and I kept trying between texting and calling several times throughout the morning. Lunchtime comes around and I don't I'm freaking out, like, is something wrong? My brain immediately goes to, like, down, and I'm thinking that, she, like, collapsed in the house, the apartment. Oh, I don't like I don't know what's going on, and, I was really scared, and so I drove over to our apartment, and I tried to get in the apartment, but the security latch was closed, so I couldn't get in. And so I'm trying to yell through the door, I'm banging, Nix is barking like a maniac, I can hear him through the door, and I'm trying to get to see if there's any movement on the other side, and finally, Onyx Rose opened the latch, and as soon as I clapped eyes on them, I just completely melted down into a puddle of goo crying on the floor, because I was so panicked that something was wrong. Um, and it was like this, like, immediate, like, wash of relief of, "Oh my gosh, you're alive." Like,
Yes, yes.
the
Um,
it was I think in those moments it was really, triggering for me because, there'd been a couple instances of, like, being locked out before that happened previously, so it kind of, like, freak out from then, but also because you have been through so many surgery and so many, um, like, medical emergency type situations, especially tied to Crohn's, that my brain always goes to this place of, if I can't get in touch with you, oh my gosh, something's wrong. And, and it just brings this sense of panic,
right.
that I could lose you, and I don't know how to how to manage that emotion sometimes, and it just until I can confirm you're okay, it's like it just bottles up, and then all of a sudden, it's just this giant
Hi, Neuro D. Yeah,
but,
sorry, Iggy.
no, you're fine, and so that's kind of what that experience was like. Um,
Okay. Let me hop into some oh my goodness, and this is saying in children. I don't wanna talk about children right now. Ugh. Um, let us see. So I was going to go ahead, Eggy.
Was just gonna say the other 2 categories real quick,
Okay.
since of the 4 categories for the current DSM-5 diagnostic criteria for autism. Um, so the last 2 categories are age of onset and then, which is evidence you have to have evidence of traits in childhood. And D, function the last category is functional impact. So it has to have a significant impairment in current functioning. So those are the what I talked about before, and then the final 2. Final 2, you have to have both, and then the second category, you have to have 2 of the 4, and then the first category, you have to have a representation of all 3,
Okay.
subcategories.
So old school DSM stuff. The that DSM has not been updated since what 2013. So hopefully there will be a new DSM out. Hey Neuro D, what's up? What's up? Thanks for stopping by. Um, like common traits in autism spectrum disorder for adults. Yeah, I can tell the sun is hitting you, Aggie. You look good in the sun, though. You know, your hair is nice. So let's see. Aside from the sensory sensitivities, there are other ones. Difficulty with social relationships. So often feeling isolated or misunderstood. And that, yeah, that's you. You know. Also challenges with executive functioning. Um,
Mhm.
Planning, organize well, you don't have a problem planning or organizing, it's switching tasks, you know? It's the moving to the next, like, task and then moving back to the task. What do you think about that?
So I often get task paralysis.
Okay.
Uh, so I will have a series of tasks, whether they're in my head or written down, doesn't matter. Uh, and I'll get so overwhelmed by them that I just can't start. Um, it kind of just shut down or
Y
procrastinate. Very, very good at procrastinating. And,
yeah, so am I. So am
and
I.
I, I, I've created this pattern where procrastinate because I think, or create of forcing myself to work under pressure, because I've kind of trained myself to work really well under pressure in a lot of cases, especially when it comes to my work life. And so I'll procrastinate on things and then I will just push really hard right at the deadline to get it all.
You
Uh,
know, so I do the same thing. That's I think you and me are similar on that, in the sense that we will wait until the very end and then push as hard as we can. And in school, that's exactly what I did.
yeah.
I waited till the very end, would write a 10 to 15, 20-page paper the night before. Yeah, and literally get an A on that shit, you know? So, but yeah, autism for Aggie, ADHD, which will probably turn into ADHD for me. Um, it's the song of our people. Yes, indeed. Another trait in autism spectrum disorder is a tendency to hyper focus. Now, Aggie does that. I feel like I do that a lot. I don't know if that's an ADHD or an ADHD trait as well, but I will focus and go down a wormhole for about 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, learn everything I can, go back and report to Egg. And she's like looking at me like, what are you talking about? Why are you telling me this? And it's things like I obsess over Gilmore Girls, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, movies. Like I have certain movies and I watch them over and over and over. I learn every detail. I learn every actor. I learn what they acted in. You know, yeah, Eggy, I know you hyper focus too on specific topics. I think you talked about that. But the other point of that is hyper focusing to the point of neglecting other responsibilities. Now, I know I do that. So, is that something that you feel you do? I don't think that's something you do too much.
I don't think I do that to the same degree. I think there are like glimpses of that from time to time for me, but it's mostly in terms of neglecting responsibilities around taking care of myself, not
Right.
necessarily anything else around me, like taking care of others or taking care of, financial responsibilities, work responsibilities, those kinds of things, but I get neglectful around my own self-care. Um, I think
You think what, Eggy?
I'm trying
Eggy?
I'm trying to reframe my thought, and it just came out
Okay.
of my brain, so
You had a little short? It shorted out for a minute?
yeah. I hit a glitch in the
A
muffin.
glitch in the a glitch in the mainframe. So yeah, and so now I'm gonna are you finished for a moment, or can I pop into okay.
No,
So, let's see, we don't have to talk about bipolar because we talked about that, like, to the death. So what I'm going to do is now pop into a odd HD. Is that how people in the comments, is that how you say it? Odd HD? Is that how you say it, AE? Or is it AUDHD? I think it's odd HD. Anyway, so it's a non-clinical term used for individuals who have both autism, traits of autism, and uh, ADHD. So a spectrum disorder. It is not, it is not an official diagnosis. It is not in the DSM-5, but I guarantee you it will be in the next DSM. Uh, it is widely used within neurodivergent communities to describe the unique combination of traits of both characteristics. I mean, of both conditions. So let me look in the comments really quick. AUDHD. Okay, thanks, NeuroD.
I I
Say
would
the
just
U like you would say the first syllable of autism. So,
DHD.
DHD, DHD. Okay, okay.
So,
So
is it
what?
is it is it weird that my brain wants to call it, like, golden DHD?
Yes, that's what I was thinking too. Golden DHD. Golden DHD. Yeah.
It
Neuro D, yeah. I really do expect that a lot of people who have ADHD and a lot of people who have autism spectrum disorder will have one or the other or the other. I really do believe that.
ADHD plus. Do you need a subscription?
ADHD plus. Yeah. Do you need a subscription to ADHD? You can get ADHD plus. So yeah. Let's go into the characteristics here. Attention and focus. Individuals may experience both hyperfocus alongside difficulty sustaining attention on
Mhm,
routine or less stimulating tasks. Now, that is screaming me right now because the tasks like at work, like not stimulating, putting the tags on the little bags, that is not stimulating to me. It does not allow me to have my strong and creative force. It allows me to be bored and not want to do this and so I lose my concentration very easily.
mhm.
Social interaction challenges in social emotional reciprocity and understanding social cues combined with impulsivity and restlessness. So I don't think I have the social emotional reciprocity. What does that mean? Like you need like reciprocity in social standings, like
Well,
you put out that energy and you need that energy back.
it's under
Eggy, she went bye bye, y'all. She may pop back in, I don't know. But yeah, so the impulsivity and restlessness I get, um, the let's go on to sensory processing. There's Eggy, she went bye-bye. Oh, no. Am I here? Am I here? Okay. Okay, I'm adding Eggy Salad back to the chat, so she should be coming in just a minute. Eggy, come through. Okay, thank you. Alrighty. So I will then continue going on because I don't know if Aggie's gonna look at her phone. It may be something where her phone is overheating. But we'll just continue with the DHD or odd HD, odd DHD. I don't know how to say it. Like it's confusing me. So routine versus novelty. It's a core internal conflict between a strong need for sameness, routine, and predictability, which is the autism side, um, and the craving for novelty, spontaneity, and change, which is the ADHD side. So I do like the sameness because, honestly, I watch 4 or 5 shows and I watch them over and over and over. So it's routine for me. I try to watch other shows. Like I've been wanting to watch Sinners forever. I've been wanting to watch Heartbreakers forever. But I can't tear myself away from Gilmore Girls. I can't tear myself away from Boy Meets Girls. I can't tear myself away from Buffy or Angel, or Bottoms. There are a lot of movies that hi Eggy Salad. It looks like she's finally coming back in. There are a lot of movies that I watch routinely. Like, and I know all the lines of Gilmore Girls. Um, let's see, familiarity is comfy. Yes, you're right about that. It's almost like a security blanket. I've heard that there is what is the reason I've heard for people? Um, it is a coping mechanism of sorts. Eggy left the stream. Let's see if I can get her to come back in one more time. Come on, Eggy, come through, come through. Okay. Where are we? I'm sorry, y'all. This has been a crazy podcast today. We will get back in the regular place next time, so it'll be better. Hopefully Eggy will pick up. But yeah, so organization and planning. To be completely honest, I am horrible at staying to a plan, but I can play. Egg, where are you? You're back.
And my phone
um,
I don't
your your phone did what?
my phone overheated again.
Okay. I don't understand how it's overheat. Maybe it's the room you're in.
I don't know
Um,
what's going on.
so we were going through the characteristics of odd HD. So let me just read them really quick to you. Attention and focus. Individuals may experience hyperfocus alongside difficulty sustaining attention. Social interaction challenges and social interaction. We did that. Sensory processing often have severe sensory sensitivities. And I know that you specifically, as well as me, but you specifically have a lot of issues in that area. So do you want to talk about which issues you have as regards to light, sound, or textures sensitivity?
Yeah, sure. So for me, it's the big one is sound for me. Um,
Right.
so for example, like Onyx Rose likes a lot of sound all the time, whether it's like having
Yes.
music on in the background, having, like all these things like auditory happening at the same time. My brain cannot handle this.
The only way, like it's I say it's like the calm and the chaos for me. I have everything going, like I have a Substack video, I have my phone going and my headphones, my music, and I am just calm at that point. It's like the calmness. But for you, you shut down, you know?
So what happens for me is, so say for example, I'm sitting at my desk working. And Sophia may have either music playing in the background, or excuse me, Onyx Rose may have something playing in the background. Wow, I can't believe I did that. I know, give me evil eyes. But they might have music playing in the background or the TV going, or both. And the issue I have is, if it's one thing if I hear instrumental music. That's not as bothersome, but if I hear vocals, or
Ah!
voices from the TV,
Hello,
um,
hello.
my brain wants to process that instead of what I'm actually doing. I'm
Yes.
constantly trying to listen about what's going on in the background if there's a voice speaking, or singing or whatever. Um,
Right.
and so my brain trying to process that and I can't focus on what I'm doing. Uh, 'Cause in my body, if I feel vibrations from the bass, I am very sensitive to it, and it makes me crazy. Like, it
I love
just makes me, like, want to find a way to crawl out of my own skin because I it's just like, I can't there are certain circumstances where that's okay because I expect it. Like, if I'm going to a live concert
Bush.
or if I'm sitting in the car and we're listening music while we're on the road. That does not bother me, it's like a sync I expected. Um, I'm sitting trying to focus on doing work, I can't like, the noises behind are just too much distraction.
Yeah.
And I can't anymore. Um,
Okay. So
I
are
have
you oh,
text
sorry.
yeah, I do also have texture issues when it comes to food. Uh, I can
Don't
be
we
a
all?
I can
Sure.
be a very picky eater. I have no issues with eating the same thing every day.
Neither do I.
Thank you, chicken.
Yep. Chicken fries from BK.
Uh, my current go-to, but as far as, um, like, light sensitivity, I mean, I guess I prefer being in the dark. I use Onyx with constantly turning all the lights on.
Yeah, so she's a dark person, like, in terms of, like, lights. I like a lot of lights, but there are times when I have to be in the dark. Some things about Egg and some things about me are the same. Like, Egg is an introvert type of person. She will go out, she will talk on the phone, she will do these things, but she doesn't want to. It is not in her nature to do these things. Her nature is to uh-oh. Oh, no.
Uh-oh, what happened?
I'm going down. Yeah, I'm going down. Something's going on. No. Okay, y'all. So my laptop is getting ready to shut down. I don't know what is going on. Energy saver is on. Oh, snap.
It's because your power connected. I think for, on Rose and I, it can we can mirror each other in some ways in terms of, what, like, present themselves, and others
Right.
very different. I think, the biggest difference that I've noticed over the years is, like, our our abilities to focus, are very different. So, Rose can focus through a tornado going on all around. Uh, I just completely melt down and freeze. I don't know what to do.
Right, right.
I don't much. It's overwhelming. But, that's difference. Uh, for me, like, in terms of, like, the focusing, I can very much hyper focus, but for me, the hyper focus is around very small details. I love doing little tiny, small detailed things.
Right.
I used to work retail for many years, at Ulta. Um,
Yep.
and my favorite planogram to do, or reset if you wanna call it, was to do the nail polishes or the hair accessories because it was a bunch of little tiny things that you had to put in certain orders in the color, and I loved it. I loved at the end that everything looked all little row. I love it. Uh, I do enjoy some tedious, repetitive tasks. Um, it's predictable, it's easy for my brain to organize those kinds of things. I do love organization, even though our house looks like absolute chaos a lot of the time. But I do love little bitty organizing types of things, whether it's little things, randomly pedal your feet in the air sometimes, that's hilarious. I love that.
Okay, Aggie, let me stop you there. We're going to go through some common misconceptions
Sure.
because it is now 5:26. So we're going to like start moving. Some common misconceptions of AUD or odd HD or golden HD is like the first one is incorrect. That it is just a preference for routine and occasional forgetfulness. That isn't true. Um, uh, it involves consistent, pervasive challenges across multiple domains, not mild habits. Um, gold, odd is whatever. Is it real? False? While not formally diagnosed, like a formal diagnosis yet, the co occurrence of autism and ADHD is well documented, with studies showing between 20 and 37% in adults. What that means, of course, is that a lot of people who are on the spectrum for for on the autism spectrum, more than likely will also experience some part of ADHD. Yeah, so yeah, I'm going dark. I can tell this sucks. Um, Let's see. Only boys have odd HD. Well, this is not true, of course. We
Yeah.
know this already. Girls and women are often underdiagnosed
Mhm.
due to presentations such as internalizing symptoms, anxiety, and inattentiveness, and masking. Now, that's another big thing that we didn't talk about. Let's pop into that masking. I know that both of us do mask quite a bit, and that was big on both of our tests. Um, and there is masking that is for ADHD and as well as autism spectrum disorder. It is a common trait amongst these two specific new neurodivergences. So when it comes to masking for you, how does that work, baby?
For me, it's often, in social settings, especially in social settings, where I'm around people I either haven't met, don't know very definitely
OMG.
heavily, um, pe
Aggie?
yes,
Aggie? You were
yes.
breaking up really badly. But keep on with your masking, like, try and yeah.
But for for me, masking is just trying to appear neurotypical as possible in social settings. With new people I don't really know very well. Um, it takes a long time for me to open up to new people. Uh, I struggle with making real lasting deep connections with other people. Um, and that's always been the case for me. My parents had to actually push me into making friendships when I was very young. They would have to introduce me to other kids my age and be like, "Hey, y'all go do something." Uh, and so
Which
I
was which was really different for me. I always made friends, or friends of friends. So a friend here, and then I became part of that friend's friend group. It
yeah,
was never me, and I made all of these friends. But
yeah,
the whole time it was me making this one friend, but feeling like, I'm not really a part of this group. And
right,
that's kind of how I feel on this online segment too, like, but I've made really good friends really quickly.
yeah,
Like the energy shared between us was very quick. Um, I was allowed to let my mask down, and
mhm,
I love those parts. Now, I there are things that I do. There I have like I don't know if they're called tics or just movements, you know, like when I'm in a space and I'm standing in line like you, I will sway, I will rock, yeah, I do that. I move my hands, I fidget. Even at home when I'm sitting in my office, I'm fidgeting. I have my little fidget balls, thanks, egg. Um, I'm always doing dances. But yeah, masking is a way to kind of hide
Mhm.
from neurotypical behavior, and to hide my true face, without getting uh, almost in trouble or
Sure.
fear of, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
um, so let's see, hyperfocus, tenacity. Aggie has some tenacity. I know you do. Um, Strengths of ADHD. Okay. Innovative problem solving through a blend of lateral thinking, ADHD, and deep focus, autism. So that is the plus of having these two put together, this diagnosis almost. Hyper focused engagement in areas of passion, leading to expert level knowledge. So that's like me having expert level knowledge in Gilmore Girls. Yeah. Now I know. Now I know this is not going to get me a job or like anything like that. I may be able to win like at the pub, but I'm not winning anything else. But yeah, that's my hyper focus. What do you hyper focus on?
Well,
One thing, one thing.
one thing that I hyper focus on.
Yeah, like, what do you yeah, one thing, Muffin or Eggy, that you feel like you have expert level, knowledge or close to. It doesn't have to be like you are the world's leading expert.
I think for me, it's basically being able to figure out how to make things.
That is
Using
true.
my hands, I'm able to, if I find or see something that I really like, or
Right,
and I think, hey, I think I could actually do that, then I, can figure out, um, be able to visually piece together how and what I need to do to make that thing a reality in my own way. Uh,
right.
so I'm very good with my hands. I can, yep.
Yeah, you are. You are. Yeah. So, and that is one thing I will dap you up on. You're definitely good with your hands. You have built everything in our place. Anytime we get something new, whether it's a cabinet, a bookshelf, anything like that, Aggie puts it together. I
Egg,
do not. What's that, Aggie? What'd you say?
egg the builder.
Egg the Builder instead of Bob the Builder, Egg the Builder. So let's keep on going. Tenacity, adaptability from years of navigating complex neurodivergent experiences. I don't think that's something that people talk about enough. Is the fact that we move through the world of neurotypical people, and we do it successfully to a certain extent. You do it successfully. I'm having a harder time, but the fact that we have to mask. The fact that uh, that we have all of these things that people would look at and say, "Wow, they are really strange," but we're surviving, and thriving. To a certain extent, we're not. It is something that is amazing. This requires high visual spatial intelligence. My partner is neurotypical, so I can't completely unmask. Yeah, understand that, Kimmy Wynn. I'm sorry about that. That sucks. Um, let's see. I can only sit still, listen if I'm doing something with my hands, like doodling. Yeah. So I can't really sit still. I'm always bopping, especially when I'm listening to music. It's certainly I catch the groove a lot. Yeah. Um, so
Wiggle my feet a lot.
yeah, yeah. You wiggle your feet. I'm
Bouncing.
bouncing on my
Does anybody else do the like thing where you just like lay down and you put your arm up and you just let it say for like a while? I do that a lot.
Yes, I've
Tran-
done that, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, definitely.
or there's like the what do they call it? The T-Rex sleeping arm or something where you
Yeah, yeah. Yes, indeed,
uh,
yeah. We both do that though, yeah. We both do that. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. Do you have any kind of closing thoughts or anything? We are now at an hour, so it's okay. We can kind of close. Oh, let me change this camera view just like this. Okay. Um, anybody in the comments have questions? Let me look at here. Awesome. We all
Rock.
rock.
100% concur.
Yes, definitely. Um, yeah, so I am looking for something else to make sure we didn't miss anything. Neurodivergence, umbrella, spectrum disorder, what is considered typical. Um, oh, boys, be quiet. Um, let's see. Okay, what are the common misconceptions about neurotypical or neurodivergent people? I don't know if y'all use the Brave browser, but it's a pain in the butt, I'm not gonna lie. Come back here. Um, so common misconceptions about neurodivergent people lack skills or empathy, social skills or empathy. Now, come on now. That is 100% not true. My empathy levels are off the freaking charts, like off the charts. And that is something with rejections, like what is it? Rejection
Rejection sensitive dysphoria.
dysphoria is that like it's your empathy is really strong. And what they said, and I was like, "Oops," maybe I'm getting caught here, is that a lot of times people with this issue seem to think that they're reading not seem to think, but they are actually reading people's
Mm,
uh, emotions, feelings, looks, and it's pattern recognition, and it's also an extra sense almost in the sense of not knowing immediately, but understanding. It's reading the room basically. Uh, you know, and so that is something. Oh my goodness, bingo, Zoe. That is something that I do a lot. I know. Hey, hey, come here. Um, but yeah, so y'all, I think we're gonna have to wrap this up because my laptop is getting ready to die. Um, let's see. I have rejection sensitive dysphoria too. But I caught that before I had vocabulary for it. Me too, Neuro D. Me too. I have even better coping skills because yes.
Me too on the animals and pets. Yep, yep,
W-
yep, yep.
What does it say on the animals and pets? I'm missing that. What does it say? Like,
Um,
a monkey?
no, how many just get close to pets and nature, avoid people sometimes, animals and
Yeah, yeah. We both love Okay, you've seen those people before, though. We both love pets. We've had dogs and cats. We all love animals, it's just, that's just in our nature, isn't it? Um,
well, I mean,
um,
there's something very, very healing of the because there's this auto sense of unconditional love, right?
right.
You're not being judged by them, they're not misreading or misunderstanding you like they said. Now, they can read your energy and feel your emotions, and they
Yes.
and it's, it's a unique relationship to have with an animal like that or with nature. I mean, nature can be the same way, very, very
Of
healing.
course. Of
Uh,
course. Yes, 100%.
and you can bring 100% of yourself and get no judgment. So,
And that's great, isn't it? It's peaceful. It's peaceful, it's restorative,
yeah,
you
for
know? It
those of us
Yeah.
who are divergent, it can be very difficult to find spaces where we can find that peace and be. be 100% ourselves.
Right.
Um, Asking, no judgment. I am, it's not to say that Onyx Rose and I don't have our moments where we get frustrated with trying to deal with each other's um spiciness. It's just it's just, we understand, okay, we understand even better now that we've been working through these diagnoses or trying to work through them. Um we understand each other better in a different way, and we're able to talk through and work through some of the things that may work better for me or work better for them in terms of being able to function from day to day, um, and trying to that. But Onyx Rose is probably the only person uh, who's really seen 100% me. Um, and I'm very fortunate that Onyx Rose is part of my life because I don't think many people would be able to withstand my brand of spiciness all the time. And I think I have a lot of gratitude and love for Onyx Rose for encouraging me to go through this process of going through the autism diagnostics. But um, it's um, it's pretty unique and pretty spectacular that I get to do that. That I get to
Awesome.
be in a relationship with someone who supports me in that way.
I do support you, Aggie, in every way, except for when you start murdering people, and then I don't. Unless you need me to help you bury the body, and then I will.
That man.
Okay, Aggie, we are going to wrap it up because my laptop seriously is getting ready to die. And then I need you to come in here and like figure out why my laptop is getting ready to die. But y'all in the chat, Neuro D, Joe, Kimmy, I don't know who else is in the chat. I saw the trajectory. I don't know if they all left. But thank y'all so much for coming in. We will be live next, not this Saturday coming up, but the Saturday after that. So 2 weeks from now, chunk up the deuce. The deuce, the deuce, the deuce, the deuce. Um, so yeah, we'll be live in 2 weeks at the same time, 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bring a smoke, a little drink, whatever you want to do. No, pass the but yeah, but we're gonna be live then. We haven't picked out a topic yet, so but we will definitely have one. And we are gonna sign off right now. Aggie, you got any final thoughts?
Just I was just gonna say if any of you in the chats have a suggestion for topics, let us know.
Yeah, y'all can send me messages on Substack. First of all, let me plug my stuff. OnyxRose.net is where I do my long form poetry, fiction, and all that good stuff writing. I'm not that great of a, well, I consider myself a good writer, a great writer, but not a lot of people do, and that's fine. I like my writing, so you can find all that over there. Um, you can also find some stuff on Substack. I haven't removed all of it. I usually just use the notes and the live function for Substack. So my Substack is onyxrose9.substack.com. And yeah, so those are my things. Yeah, if you have topics for us, we love suggestions. Go ahead and send me a direct message on Substack, or you can send one at Aggie Salad. She loves to get mail. And she would definitely be responsive to a suggestion y'all had for another topic. So thank y'all for joining in. We are going to sign off right now. Have a great day. Peace in the ease and peace and chicken grease. No trash. No transphobia, no racism, no ableism, no sexism, no homophobia. No homophobia. Fuck Trump, fuck ICE. And we are out. Good night. Bye.